Hello, and welcome to Recovery ASMR, Recovery ASMR, Recovery ASMR, where we're taking things one day at a time, one day at a time. We're keeping it simple. We're keeping it simple. Taking things one day at a time. Today we're going to do some soft-spoken vibes, along with Melody Beatty. Melody Beatty. Her bio is a pioneering voice in self-help literature, the author of Beyond Codependency, The Language of Letting Go, and The Grief Club. And she also has the Codependent No More workbook to go along with Codependent No More. I often read Language of Letting Go, which is a morning kind of ritual similar to what you might be more familiar with. Daily reflections. Some people read From As Bill Sees It every day. Today we're going to look at Codependent No More. Look through some of the chapter titles and think about which, if any of them, we might want to talk about on the channel. So these are published by Hazelden, which also published 24 Hours a Day. And if you don't know Hazelden, they're like a pretty famous recovery center. There's like a whole rehab situation, very well known in the community. So Hazelden is not explicitly 12-step, though it's, it often is, but it's not, I should say it's not affiliated with Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. It's kind of 12-step adjacent, maybe 12-step agnostic, if that's a thing. But no matter where you are in your recovery journey, you can get really useful information out of these texts. Or at least I do. Codependent No More. The back reads, Melody Beattie's compassionate and insightful look into codependency, the concept of losing oneself in the name of helping another, has struck a universal chord among those struggling with a loved one's self-destructive behavior. Codependent No More has helped millions of readers understand that they are powerless to change anyone but themselves. Powerless to change anyone but myself. With this beautiful 25th anniversary edition of the New York Times bestseller, you too may join the ranks of those who have healed through Beattie's instructive life stories, inspiring personal reflections, exercises, and self-help tests. Codependent No More. There's a quote here on the first page. It is not easy to find happiness in ourselves, and it is not possible to find it elsewhere. That's from Agnes Repplier, from a text called The Treasure Chest. The Treasure Chest. The Treasure Chest. Writing that down so I don't forget to look it up later. The contents start with several prefaces, starting with the 25th anniversary message from the author, and then the 2001 15th anniversary edition, and the 1992 edition, which must have been the original edition, if I had to guess. 86 is when it was published. Okay. The subtitle of the text is How to Stop Controlling Others and Start Caring for Yourself. How to stop controlling others and start caring for yourself. How to stop controlling others and start caring for yourself. And I believe this is the basic text for Codependence Anonymous, or at least one of the ones they read most often. It is quite difficult to find Coda meetings, at least for me, in my region. But you can always do readings like this at home. So part one, after the introduction of this text, is what's codependency and who's got it? What's codependency and who's got it? Within part one, you have Jessica's story. You have other stories. You have codependency, and you have codependent characteristics. Codependent characteristics. Just pulling out the big blue guy here for a second. Because if you don't know the basic texts of Alcoholics Anonymous, then you don't know the similarities in just their chapter structure that I'm just noticing. So many forwards. And then it goes Bill's story. So we got Jessica, we got Bill. Then we have There Is a Solution, more about alcoholism, we agnostics. And then chapter 5 is how it works. So it makes sense to me that this text would also start with narrative-based, kind of giving an overview of the story. I like that it also has a chapter for other stories up top, so that if an individual is having trouble identifying or still has questions, they could read that. In the big book, they have Bill's story, but also kind of throughout the chapter, they tell like mini anecdotes. So like the guy who thinks that, oh, I can just, put some whiskey in the milk, which is a classic AA tale, and it always grosses me out because I hate milk, and it's disgusting, but everyone in the meeting is always like, oh, why would you do that? But the point is, after a while, the viciousness of the disease of alcoholism will sneak back up on you if you're not, in contact with others in recovery. And, if you're isolating, if you're alone, if you're outside of the solution, if you're trying to fix it on your own and not through more spiritual means, you will eventually convince yourself, I can just have one. Surely I won't have more than one whiskey and milk, because disgusting. But, so kind of throughout the big book, it will have tiny stories. There's the Jaywalker parable, they have parables and stuff, so it makes sense to me that the Coda text would also have narrative buy-in, and something I know about the importance of storytelling. I mean, it's so important, first of all, but, it helps us remember we're all just mere mortals. We're living on this earth and having experiences, and often our experiences are much more shared than we could ever fathom. Right? We're not as alone as we think we are. And so my journey, with alcoholism and addiction recovery, I have like a people problem. And so I've started diving into these texts, and I will say I still have a lot to explore here, a lot to learn. But I'm excited to dig in and find out. So I guess I could read those stories. I could read Chapter 3, Codependency, and Chapter 4, Codependent Characteristics. I'm very interested in finding out more of what the text says about that one. What are the characteristics, right? I know this book, this big blue book over here, tells me a great deal about what addiction is, and what about something as seemingly nebulous as codependency? Right? We all need people, so where's the line? Where is the line? When am I trying to change anyone but myself? Excited to learn more about that. Part 2 looks like it's the equivalent of there is the solution. So it's the basics of self-care, and these seem really interesting. I'm curious to know which, if any, you all would like to hear more about. Chapter 5 is detachment. Detachment. Chapter 6, don't be blown away by don't be blown about. Don't be blown about. Don't be blown about by every wind. 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 And don't be blown away by every wind either. Listen, if you're that light, you gotta eat a sandwich. Chapter 7, set yourself free. Set yourself free. Set yourself free. Number 8, remove the victim. Remove the victim. Number 9, there's a new word for me, undependence. Curious, what is it? Undependence, 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 undependence. Curious. Undependence, okay. Number 10, live your own life. Live your own life. Just like Rihanna and T.I. said, live your own life. Live your own life. Live your own life. Number 11, have a love affair with yourself. Do it. I bet you're so hot. Have a love affair with yourself. Have a love affair with yourself. Page 119. Have a love affair with yourself. And then chapter 12, learn the art of acceptance. And we know, I bet this is what my bookmark is in, is the acceptance prayer. Let's find out. everything above. I did not do that on purpose. Page 417 of the big book is the acceptance prayer. If you've never read the story called Acceptance Was the Answer, it's a really good one. But there's this one specific paragraph that a lot of meetings have started reading at the end, for what I would assume is the fact that it's much more secular than other more religious-based prayers. And AA is a non-religious, spiritual-based program. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Page 417, and acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life, unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as exactly the way it is supposed to be in this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and in my attitudes. So good. But I know that often, I obviously have this memorized because I say it so much, because I will replace the words, until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. I mean, really, you can put anything in there. Until I could accept blank, I could not insert ideal state here. So I'm curious to know more about how this codependent text would have us approach learning the art of acceptance. I wonder if what page is it? 129. I wonder if it mentions the acceptance prayer. It says all these notes from my friends in it. It has a quote from Bob Newhart from the Bob Newhart Show to start the chapter. I'd like to make a motion that we face reality. Interesting. I don't know anything about Mr. Newhart, but I'm curious to know more. Always curious to know more. Always curious to know more. It doesn't look like it's going to mention the AA prayers. But, I mean, it's not like AA invented the concept of acceptance, so I'm pretty sure it's like extremely Buddhist-based. Like, maybe the main thing is like suffering is inevitable, so just accept that that's going to be part of what it means to live and to human. And when you can do that, you can stop suffering, right? I mean, look, I could be wrong. That could be a very bad summary of what Buddhism is, but that is my understanding. It's like, what if we just let things happen? What if instead of being dragged, we let go? Okay, chapter 13. Feel your own feelings. Feel your own feelings. Which to me implies stop feeling someone else's feelings. It's actually something I struggle with. I have a lot of anticipatory habits. I try to prevent people from experiencing discomfort to my own chagrin and discomfort. Trying to proactively stop others from feeling feelings. You can't do it, guys. It's not possible. Okay, chapter 14 is just called anger. So, comment below if you want to know more about what this text has to say about that. Or don't. It would be funny if, I could just get, 20 people to just write the word anger. Just, someone comes and they're like, what? Why is every comment just the word anger? What kind of recovery ASMR is this? This is a Wendy's. This is a Wendy's. This is a Wendy's. Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. If you're new to ASMR, and this is your first time watching a video because you love Codependence Anonymous, I'm so sorry. If you're old to ASMR, and this is your first time learning about Codependence Anonymous, I'm also so sorry. Okay, chapter 15. Yes, you can think. Yes, you can think. Yes, you can think. Yes, you can think. You can think. Be a very interesting campaign slogan. Yes. Yes. You can think. You can think. Yes, you can think. It's giving 1970s disco banger. Yes, sir. I can think. Chapter 16, set your own goals. Set your own goals. Hey. Set your own goals. You know what? Set your own goals. Set your own goals. Chapter 17 is just called communication. 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 I would love to see that paired with the anger. I think those are two things. When we have big emotions, it becomes even harder to communicate and even more important to do it well. Chapter 18, work a 12-step program. Oh, there it is. Didn't see that coming, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Chapter 18 says work a 12-step program, so I think that must be why this is one of the basic texts for Coda. Number 19, pieces and bits, 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 pieces and bits. Pieces and bits. That is how someone in a 12-step program beatboxes. Pieces and bits, pieces and bits, pieces and bits, pieces and bits. And lastly, learning to live and love again. 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 It's giving Adele lyrics. Learning to live and love again. Learning to live and love again. Learning to live and love again. And then we have an epilogue. We have a section for notes. And we have an about the author. About the author. About the author. Okay, I'm interested to know which chapters feel the most pressing to you. Oh, and there are some quizzes. Oh, we should do the quizzes. Oh my god, I'm actually so curious. Codependent Characteristics, Chapter 4, it has some quizzes. Mustache noise. Okay. Those are the chapters in Codependent No More. I'm going to guess that this text is designed to be read in order. So I'll probably go and read stories to start, and then I can take the quizzes with a little better understanding of what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. Although, I don't know, maybe that'll be just introducing bias that I don't need to have. Do I need to have any bias? I See, I'm pretty firm on the fact that I have some stuff to work through. Okay, before we go today, I'm gonna read 2 days from the Language of Letting Go. Meaning today's and then another day. Okay, we'll do June 4th. We'll start here on June 4th. Trusting God, trusting God, trusting God. A married couple, friends of mine, decided to make some changes in their living situation. They had always lived in the city, and now they decided they wanted to live in the country on a lake. They found a small lake home. Good for you guys. It wasn't the house of their dreams, but when they sold their city home, they would have money to remodel it. They saved some money, so they moved into their lake home before selling their city home. This is very unrelatable to me. On one year passed, and the city home didn't sell. My friends went through many changes during this time. They had times of patience and impatience. Some days they trusted God. Other days they couldn't figure out why God was making them wait so long. Why God wouldn't let them move forward with their plan. The doors just wouldn't swing wide open. Okay, that's quite relatable. One day a neighbor came to visit my friends. His home on the lake was my friend's dream home. Everything they wanted plus more. The first time my friends saw this house, they admired it, wishing they could have a home just like it, but then they forgot about the idea. They didn't believe it could ever be possible. The reason the neighbor came to visit my friends was that he and his wife had decided to move. He offered my friends the first option on purchasing his home. Okay, go off. My friends accepted his offer and signed a purchase agreement. Within 2 months, they sold their city home and their small but adequate lake home. A short time later, they moved into the home of their dreams. Sometimes we experience times of frustration in our life. We believe we're on track, trusting God and ourselves, yet things don't work out. We have false starts and stops. The door refuses to swing wide open. We may wonder if God has abandoned us or doesn't care. We may not understand where we're going or what our direction is. Then one day we see the reason we didn't get what we wanted was because God had something much better planned for us. It's beautiful. The meditation for this day is today I will practice patience. I will ask and trust my higher power to send me his best. I just want to reread this section. Sometimes we experience times of frustration in our life. We believe we're on track, trusting God and ourselves, yet things don't work out. We have false starts and stops. The door refuses to swing wide open. It's amazing. That's a good anecdote, actually. I'm sorry I judged you guys for a second. Your problems are relatable. And I guess, class aside, right? Like, we all have moments where it just seems like, surely I'm doing everything possible that I should be to live the right life of my dreams or be on the right track. And before you know it, it's like, yeah, I'm losing faith. And then, oh, what do you know? It all worked out. I've certainly had my fair share of trials and tribulations, and I'm still alive. And even if I were dead, God's plan. But more importantly, my family, I try to be a beacon of hope for my family. I have some young kids in my life who look up to me, and I want to be a beacon of hope for them. They keep me on my journey, on my spiritual journey. So I want to show them that, I just want to save them from the pain that I had of like not trusting that everything was going to be okay. You know, like it took me a long time to get to the place that I'm at now, like materially and financially. Not to mention, you know, spiritually. But I'm glad to be here. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do today's. So it is June 6th where I am in the ether. But maybe it is always June 6th. Maybe it's always June 6th. The gift of readiness. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Step 6 of Al-Anon. That's what it's quoted as. That is also step 6 of any 12-step program. So that's the little quote. Here's the reading. We progress to the 6th step by working diligently to the best of our ability on the first 5 steps. This work readies us for a change of heart, an openness to becoming changed by a power greater than ourselves. God. The path to this willingness can be long and hard. Many of us have to struggle with a behavior or feeling before we become ready to let it go. True. We need to see over and over again that the coping device that once protected us is no longer useful. The defects of character referred to in Step 6 are old survival behaviors that once helped us cope with people, life, and ourselves. But now they are getting in our way, and it is time to be willing to have them removed. This time, trust in this time, trust in this time, trust in this time. Trust that you are being readied to let go of that which is no longer useful. Trust that a change of heart is being worked out in you. Trust. Trust in this time. Trust that you are being readied to let go of that which is no longer useful. Trust that a change of heart is being worked out in you. Here's the prayer. God, help me become ready to let go of my defects of character. Help me know in my mind and soul that I am ready to let go of my self-defeating behaviors, the blocks and barriers to my life. Beautiful. Trust. I love that. It's really important for me to remember that the emphasis is on willingness. You know, just asking, even just asking for willingness. You know, if you're still struggling with addiction and, you know, well, really we all are to some extent. But I think just asking the universe, whoever, I mean, literally just like going like, can you help me to be willing to want to give this thing up? Can you help me to be willing to be ready to give this thing up? And just starting there, like manifesting that you're ready for a change and that you're willing for a change. And then having the eyes and the heart open to accepting guidance when it comes. You know, there will always be people who have been on a spiritual path for longer than me, for sure. And I have to like have open eyes and open heart to like accept what's out there, you know, like this author right here, right? I've never met her. She wrote these texts, and I'm extremely open to learning from her and from the people that she learned from in order to be a beacon of hope, be a model, be an example. All you can do is take it one day at a time. One day at a time, one day at a time. You can do it one day at a time. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. One day at a time. Just do a little bit every day. That's all it takes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. watching.